Your house feels solid right now. Quiet, warm. You assume that if the grid goes down, you'll be uncomfortable, but safe. That assumption is wrong. When the power fails, your home doesn't slowly get colder, it bleeds heat. And the reason has nothing to do with outside temperature. In the first 24 hours after a long-term blackout, most homes lose heat faster than people expect, faster than their bodies can adapt, and faster than improvised solutions can fix. That's why cold kills people indoors after collapse, not outside, inside. I'm going to show you the flaw that causes this, why modern homes are especially vulnerable, and why most stay warm advice fails once the grid disappears. But first, you need to understand something unsettling. Your house was never designed to hold heat. It was designed to borrow it. Borrowed heat assumes electricity. Borrowed heat assumes fuel. Borrowed heat assumes systems that never stop running. When those assumptions break, the structure turns against you. Here's the part nobody tells you. Insulation doesn't keep you warm. Containment does. And most homes are terrible at containment. In a few minutes, I'll explain why adding more blankets, more layers, or even more fuel barely slows the heat loss. But first, let's talk about how your house actually loses heat. Heat escapes in three ways.
Conduction, convection, radiation. Most people only plan for one. They think insulation stops cold air. It doesn't. Insulation slows conduction, not airflow. If air moves, heat follows it out. And modern homes move air constantly, even when you think they don't. Here's the hidden flaw. Your home is designed to breathe. That sounds good until the grid fails. Modern buildings rely on active systems to manage airflow. Furnace blowers, pressure balancing, sealed zones that only work when fans are running. When the power dies, that balance collapses. Warm air rises, cold air sinks, and your house turns into a chimney. Heat escapes through the top floors, attic gaps, recessed lighting, vent stocks, and wall cavities you've never seen. Cold air floods in from crawl spaces, basements, door frames, and utility penetrations. The structure creates a stack effect that actively pulls warmth out of your living space. You don't feel it immediately. That delay is the trap. People wait. They assume the house will stabilize.
It doesn't. Every hour, the temperature drop accelerates. In a moment, I'll explain why fireplaces, space heaters, and even generators don't solve this and sometimes make it worse. But before that, you need to understand why older buildings often perform better in collapse than newer ones. This surprises people. New homes look efficient, tight, modern. But efficiency on paper assumes constant energy input. Older structures were built for passive survival. Thick walls, smaller volumes, fewer penetrations. They leak less air, not because they're better engineered, but because they're simpler. Modern homes are complex heat machines. When the machine shuts off, what's left is a shell full of holes. And once your interior temperature drops below a certain point, your body stops compensating. That's when mistakes multiply. That's when people burn fuel too fast, seal rooms incorrectly, trap moisture, create condensation that accelerates heat loss. In the next section, I'll show you exactly where your home is bleeding heat first, why most people focus on the wrong fixes, and how to reverse the flow using physics instead of fuel. Because if the grid stays down, your home doesn't become shelter, it becomes an icebox.
The heat doesn't leave evenly. It escapes predictably. The first losses aren't walls. They're vertical. Attic access panels, recessed lights, bathroom vents, dryer ducts, chimney flues that never fully close. These openings sit above your living space, exactly where warm air wants to go. As heat rises and escapes, pressure inside the house drops. That pressure difference pulls cold air in from below. Basements, crawl spaces, garage seams, utility penetrations around pipes and cables. Your house becomes a pump, no fan required. This is why running a fireplace often makes the rest of the house colder. You're adding heat in one place while increasing airflow everywhere else. The fire pulls air up the chimney. Cold air replaces it from the lowest points in the structure. You feel warm near the flames. The rest of the house freezes faster.
Generators and space heaters can trigger the same problem. They add heat without fixing containment. More heat increases convection. More convection accelerates loss. Fuel disappears, temperature still drops. This is why just heat one room often fails.
People close doors without sealing gaps. They trap moisture. Condensation forms on cold surfaces. Wet air conducts heat better than dry air. Walls get colder faster. Breathing becomes heavier. Clothing dampens. Hypothermia doesn't require freezing temperatures. It requires sustained heat loss. Now, let's close the most dangerous misunderstanding. Blankets don't fix the structure. They protect the body. That distinction matters. Blankets buy time. Containment changes the equation. The moment the grid fails, your priority isn't producing heat. It's stopping airflow. You don't need tools. You need attention. Seal the top first. Anything above head height that moves air gets blocked. Plastic, tape, cloth, cardboard layered and sealed. Stop the chimney effect and the temperature drop slows immediately. Then you shrink the volume you're trying to keep warm. Large spaces kill heat. Small spaces preserve it. Rooms within rooms, tents inside structures.
Sleeping platforms raised off cold floors. You're not heating the house, you're building a microclimate. Older homes did this unintentionally. Modern homes require you to do it deliberately. Once airflow stops, insulation starts working again. Conduction slows, radiant loss becomes manageable. Now heat matters. A candle becomes useful. Body heat accumulates. Fuel lasts longer. This is the point most people never reach because they burn resources before fixing the flaw. And now the final truth. Your home doesn't fail because it's weak. It fails because it assumes systems will save it. When those systems vanish, physics takes over. Air moves, heat follows, structures don't care. If the grid fails in winter, survival indoors becomes an engineering problem, not a comfort problem. Solve airflow first, reduce volume second, add heat last. Get that raw order wrong, and your house becomes colder than the outside air because it actively pulls warmth away from you. Get it right, and even a cold structure becomes survivable. The hidden flaw isn't your insulation. It's your assumption that the house will protect you on its own. It won't. Only containment does.